Hello everyone, this is Suresh from Azure ADB. Today our topic is how to use the function called week of year. So in PySpark, week of year, we used to extract the week number from 1 to 53 of a given date or timestamp as integer. So date or timestamp means our input column should be either date or timestamp data type. And while for generating week of year, the year boundary cases are January 1 sometimes might belong to last year's week, or December 31st might belong to next year's week. So now we'll see the syntax. So week of year and argument we need to provide as expression. So here argument expression is the input column must be date or timestamp data type. And after applying this week of year function, what will get written is an integer value or column. So next main thing is, so we had to be keep in mind, or we should be knowledge of this one, ISO 8601 compliance. So that means whatever we function, this one week of year follows the ISO 8601 standard week numbering. So if a week is considered to start on Monday. So that means every week starts, that means starting of the day is Monday, and week one is the first week with more than 3 days as defined by ISO 8601. So that means whenever our new year starts, that week one, we can say that the first week should have with more than 3 days. So this I will show you what it means with example in below scenarios. So for that, first I'm importing required functions. So mainly week of year. So week of year and current timestamp, to timestamp, to underscore date. So to underscore date and to underscore timestamp we use to convert string column to date column, and current underscore timestamp to print today's timestamp. So first scenario, we'll see how to extract week of year from your date column. So that means date column is our input is date column. So here, if you see, our input column can be either date or timestamp column. So in first scenario, I'm going to discuss about a date column. So here I'm creating one sample data frame with the date column, and here I'm ensuring the column is date type. But while creating data frame by using spark.create data frame, by default it will come as string type. So whatever these date values are there, so this column is created with string data type. So here column names are, if you see column names, so here it is provided ID and date underscore string. So whenever we created with by using spark.create data frame, this data underscore string column data type is string type, but we need date type. So for converting string column to date type, so here I'm using with column method, and I'm giving the column name as date, and here by using to underscore date, I'm converting this column. So this particular column I'm converting from string to date type. So after converting, see if you see here, this is our initial data frame. That means by using this create spark.create data frame, you'll get output as these two columns. And if you see here, date underscore string, this one, it is string type. And same you can see here. See ID is long, that is this one. And date underscore string str is string type. And after converting, that means after using this code, we are getting date as date type. So that is this one. So later I'm giving column name as date. So initially it is date underscore string. Then I added new column that is date. Or else you can same column name you can give it here. So it will replace here itself with the date type so that we can avoid this column. And so up to here we discussed. Next, my input column is date type is there. So now what I'm doing here, I'm creating one more new column by using with column, and column name is week underscore number. That is this one. So here what I'm giving function is week of year. So our main function is this one, week of year, and inside that I'm giving the column. So date column I'm providing. If you see as per our expression, that means syntax, week of year, and inside that we need to provide the expression. So the expression can be either date or timestamp type. So here week of year, and inside that expression. So the expression can be date or timestamp type. So here I'm providing date type. So now see here all week numbers it generating here based on this date it generating week number. So how it is generating between 1 to 53. So that means in whole year, that means in per year, so we will be having up to 53 weeks. So based on date it will print whether it belongs to first week or second week or third week and so on, or either 52 week. So how it will display is, so here my date is 2021. If I open calendar, 2021 12/30. So now I will go to calendar up to 2021. So here, okay. So 2021, and we have to come to up to December. So December 30th. See here, December 30th. So this is the last week of the year. So here it will print 52. So here we mentioned that between 1 to 53. So if we come leave here, then we'll get 53. So otherwise we'll get 52. So next at the same time, 2021, 12/31. So here we saw first one is 30 and second one is 31. So even 31 also falls on same week only. So we'll get output as 52. And at the same time, 2022, January 1st. So here this is 2022, January 1st. But here it falling on same week. That is last week, 52 week. So where week starts? Monday. So but our week at first. So this, even though this is 2022 January 1st, it will print 52 only. And again, if you come to 2022 second, January 2nd. So here first is over. Next, this is January 2nd of 2022. But our week actually starts at Monday. So it this second again it belongs to same week only, 52. And if you come to 2022 1 3, so that is 3. So this 3 falls on Monday. So that is this is first day of the week. So that means now it comes as first week because this new year. So for new year, week starting here, Monday. So this particular date 3 falling on first week. Okay, so similar way, if you go for 2022, 12/30, 2022, 12/30, 2022, 12/30. So that is here. So this is falling on last week. So we'll get 52. And up to where we'll get 52? So up to 2023 January 1st, we'll get week 52. Say 2022 up to January 1st, we'll get week 52. And 2023 January 2nd only, this week is starting. This Monday. So this week is starting. So this one it will print as what? First week. And similar way, 2023 December 30, 2023. So 2023 December. So up to 31st. Up to 31st, it falls on week 52. So first only it starts week 1. If you see here 2023 12/30. So these two it printing as 52. Next it comes to 2024 first and second. So that means this one. This is 2023. So here 2024. So here week starts. So 1 and 2 it prints as week 1. And similar way 2024 12. So now I will go for 2024. Okay, so 2024 up to day 5. So up to day 5, that means up to January 5th, it will consider as week 52. If you see 2024, this is 12/30 is there. 2024, 12/29, 2024, 2024, 12/29. Okay, so up to here, it is week 52. So up to here, it is week 52, 2024, 30, 31st, 1, it considering as 1. So that means 52 week, it is ending here only. So from here onwards, that is 2024, 30th itself, it's starting first week. See here? See, depends on year to year, it is changing. See here, year 2022 up to second, it considering as 52. So even though it is next year, so first 2 days, it considering as week 52 only. And if you see other year, 2031. So here it is exactly 2024 January 1st, exactly starting first week. But if you come here 2024 itself, it's starting week 1. Okay, so it depends on year to year, it will change the week numbers. So here mainly I targeted to explain at year ends, year end and starting of the year. So now what I will do, I will try to add few other dates, maybe other than year ends. We'll see how it looks. Suppose 18, maybe 2026. This month is 03 and I'll give around 10. So this is one date. Maybe I'll give 2000 January also one date. Two 2026 January. Maybe I will mention let it be 3. I'll try to rerun this one. So before that, I will execute these functions. So now 2 rows added here. I missed comma here. So I'll rerun here. So I will get two more rows extra here. So those two rows we'll see it falls on week, which week. So what I given is 2026. So 2026 January I given 1 week, one date, and March 10th I given one date. Okay. So first date I given 2026 January 3rd. So 2026 January 3rd. See here it is falling on previous year, but last week. If you see here, okay. So it falling on first week. So that means here itself it's starting week one. So maybe I'll try with previous dates. We'll come to know from where it started week one. So 2026, one date I will give one, and one more date, two more dates I'll give maybe 30, 31st. So where it starting 29. So I will give from 28th. So 2026, 2026. So I'll start from 2025, 12, and I will give from what is the 28th I will give, and here 2015 I will give week 12, and here I will give 29. At the same time, I will give 2025 and 12 and 30th. So year is up to 31st. So I'll give one more date. I'll give up to 31st. So 17, this is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, sorry, 22, this is 23. So now I'll try to read this. See here, see 2025, 12, 28. So as I mentioned here, so this is the end of the week. Sunday is the end of the week, 28th. So that it is 52 and 1229. So that means 1229. That means 2025 year itself, week one started. So 29 itself, week one started. Okay, so this is about this one. And if you see randomly, this March month 30th, 10th. So March month, this is 10th. So for this week, where starts here 9. But if you see week wise, so here week 1 started. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So week 11, it falls this one, 10th. Okay, because starting week is this one. If you see here, this is week 11. So like this, it will calculate the week numbers. So that is the meaning of this one. So week starts on Monday, and week 1 is the first week with more than 3 days. So we have to follow this ISO standard. So next on top of this, what I'm doing. So here I explained about creating data frame. In case if I want to uh, create some sample data frame by using current time. So that means today's by using today's date. See, I ran this one 2026 3/12. So here what I did spark dot range one. So this is why I given here is since I'm using today's current date. So I want to create only one row. So instead of creating data frame here, I given spark dot range one. So that means it will create only one row here. If you want multiple rows, you can increase this number. So on top of spark dot range one, I am using dot select, and in select here, first column I want is current underscore timestamp. That means today's timestamp I want to print here. That is this one, today's timestamp. So date and time zone. And since it is select, I given alias as current underscore time. So that is my first column. And I given one more select statement. So here I am selecting this one. This means after generating this column, I am selecting this column. And on top of that, I'm creating one more week here. So that is week name is week underscore number. So this column, how I'm creating is here I'm using week of year and I'm applying on this column. So that is on this particular column, I'm applying this week of year. So even though it is a timestamp, and if you see here, it falling on 2026 3/12. So that is today's date. So today's date, as we calculated in previous scenario, it falling on 11th week. So we'll get 11th week. Okay, so there are two ways we can do. So one is if you have some custom values, custom date values, you can create a data frame like this and you can check the week numbers. In case if you want for your today's date or today's time, then you can do like this. So now second scenario is extracting week of year from a timestamp column. So earlier we saw on date column. So now this is timestamp column. So here I'm creating one sample data frame by using timestamps here. So instead of date, I'm using timestamps here. So first, if I use create spark.create data frame, my default data frame will get create with string type. So timestamps as string type. So here this data I'm passing here in spark.create data frame and my column name is timestamp. That is this one. So initially it will create with as string data type. So later I'm converting this string timestamp. So string timestamp column to timestamp data type. So how I'm converting by using with column and I'm keeping same name to replace the column. And here I'm using 2 underscore timestamp on this particular column. So if you use 2 underscore timestamp, what will happen? It will convert string timestamp to timestamp type. In previous case, our column is date. So there we used 2 underscore date. So whenever you want to convert date column, string date column to date, date type column, you have to use 2 underscore date. If you want to convert string timestamp to timestamp type, you have to use 2 underscore timestamp. So now my input column is timestamp type. Say here timestamp, and you can check here also. So now on top of this, what I'm doing, I'm extracting the week of the year from the timestamp column. So this is my input timestamp column. So on top of this, I'm creating this column. So column name is week of year by using with column. And how I'm creating here, I'm passing the function week of year, and inside that I'm passing this input column. So now how it will calculate? Similar way, 2022 July 25. If you go here, 2022, okay, so 2022 July, 2022 July 25, July 25. So that is start of the week. So then you have to calculate, count all these week numbers. So because we don't know week one starting from here or here. So I'm assuming here is starting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So week 30 we are getting. So like this you can calculate for remaining dates also. Similar way you can calculate it. So by using calendar you can cross verify. So next one is using week of year with filter. So that means I have some date column. So for creating date column, what I'm doing, I created some data here by using dates, and by using spark.create data frame, I created data frame. That means this data I'm passing here, and my column name is date. So initially it will create as string type, that means string date. Then I'm converting here by using to underscore date. This particular column I'm converting using to underscore date. So after converting, our input column is ready. So that is a date. So these are all dates. So now what I'm doing, I'm extracting the week of year from the date column and filter for weeks 50 to 30, between 30 to 52, 30 and 52. So if I want to filter the dates between these weeks, first we want to generate the weeks for each date. So 2022 7/25. So we already saw that it falling on 30th, and similar way 2023 January 1st it is falling on 52, and second January 2nd falling on 1st, January 3rd falling on 1st, and 2022 December 31st falling on 52. So now it calculated the weeks. So now what I'm doing, I'm using the filter. So on top of this data frame, I'm using filter. So in filter, what I'm giving condition is, so first I'm selecting the column, that is this one, week of year, and dot I'm using here between. And in between, what is my requirement? I want to filter the rows between week 30 to 52. So 30 and 52 I'm passing here. So if you want to know more about this filter function, so I already made one video on this, how to use between by using filter. You can check in my playlist. So now what will happen? This filter function, first it will check. So first week, that means this one, it is 30. So our starting is 30. So it will accept this one. Next 52 is there. So 52 also within range. So these two it will select. And whatever one is there, so that is not in this range. So these two it will ignore. And 52, it is this range. So total out of 5 rows, it will pick these 3 rows. See here, these 3 rows it printed. And if you see the week, it is between 30 to 50, 52. So like this, we can do the filter. So next, how to do group by week, group by using week. So for this, I'm creating one sample data frame. So here I'm using dates here, and my column names is this one, start underscore date and sales. So here spark dot create data frame, I'm passing this data here and I'm passing columns here. So if I generate this data frame, see here this one. So initially it generating as string type. So on top of this, what I'm doing, this is my sample data frame, that is this one. Here I'm using select. That means in select, I'm selecting these two columns. So either you can write the columns like this separately, or you can simply use a star. So you keep star in double quote, then you write this one, week of year. I am applying week of year on this date column. So that is start underscore date. And I given alias number is week underscore number. So that is this one. So now similar way, it will generate the week. For each date, it will generate the week numbers. So all are 2023 and 2023, 411, 411, 415, 417. Okay, so for respective weeks it printing. So you can check in calendar similar way. So you can calculate. So you will get same week numbers. So first what happened? I generated the week numbers. So next what I'm doing group by here. So here what my requirement is, I want to calculate the sales on weekly basis. So here I generated week numbers and I have sales values here. So if I do group by based on this week number, I will get the total sales for each week. So here first I'm importing week of year and some function, and on top of this data frame, that means this one, I'm doing group by. So I'm doing group by. My first group by is here. I'm doing two group bys actually. So one is for getting the sales. So getting the sales on weekly basis, and one more is counts on weekly basis. So I had to rerun this one. So let me run this data frame from starting. So now df underscore grp. So this data frame is generated. So on top of this data frame, I am generating week numbers. So now week numbers got generated. Now what I'm doing, df underscore grp. So that means this one. So on top of that, I'm using group by. So in group by, what I'm doing here is I'm writing week of year function on start underscore date. So that means this on this column. And I given alias as week underscore number. So first I'll try to run this one. So count I'm not defined. So I had to call the count function also here. Date, week of year. So this should be start underscore date. And this alias number is week of year. So same and sales. So I need to mention different name. So This is sales, sum of sales, count of sales. So here I will give some week number. Here I'll give count week number. Cannot be resolved. Sum of sales. So start of year, count of sales. Okay. So I given individually, no. So instead of that, what we can do is I will remove this one and I will keep. So aggregate, one is sum of sales alias and comma. I will move this count above. Okay, so aggregate count. Okay, so we should not use two group bys. So we had to use one group by, and in aggregation, we can write different aggregate functions. Okay, so here what I'm doing is, first I'm doing group by. So group by on what? So week of year start date. So that alias I given here, that is. So first it is generating this column. So this column it is generating. So how it generating? Similar way. So for each particular date, how week number is generating. So same way it is generating here. So next on top of that, what I given aggregation is, first I given sum of sales. If you see from this, I given aggregation of week. So on this one. So here, if you do group by on this particular column, so here we have two 15s. So these two become one group. And if you see here, so this is our first group. And here, how many 15s are there? Two. So that is count. So count of sales is 2. And if you see sum, so these two, 200 plus 150, 350. So this is one group. So next we'll go for other group. So here only one record is there, that is 16, and count will be 1 and sum will be 120. See here, count is 1 and sum is 120. So this is one group. So next we have 20. So 20 and 21 also single group. That means count is 1 and respective sum sales are 170 and 300. See here 170 and 300, 170, 300 and count also 1, 1. And the next group is 43. So 43 we have count is 3 and sum of sales is these 3. If you do sum of these 3, we'll get this value 1240. So based on this, now what we can tell is the sum of sales, this sum of sales for the 15th week. That means this one, sum of sales for 15th week of the year was 350. Okay, and the similar way, the sum of sales for the 16th week is 120. So that is this one 120. For 20th week, sum of sales is 170, this one. So for week 21, the sum of sales is 300. So for week 43, the sum of sales is this one, 1240. And similar way, count also it is same. So respective uh, weeks. So these are you can use different ways of week of year. So why we need to use week of year is, so this is best example. So to calculate the sales and count, sales and count based on weekly basis. Okay. So that's all about this video. If you really like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.